Hey GQ, I'm Alex Smith, and I'm going undercover on the internet. This is actually me. Okay, let's check Twitter. At K. Seabolt, how much, if any, credit for the Chiefs' success goes to Alex Smith for his professionalism and mentorship during Patrick Mahomes' first year? Well, I would probably say most, if not all, the credit probably deserves to go to me. No, honestly, I hear some of this talk and it's really flattering. You know, my time there in KC was really special to me and still is, but I'm so happy for what these guys are doing. I wish I taught Pat how to throw sidearm across the field while backpedaling, you know, but I didn't. I was an early pick in my career. I remember how hard it was, and I played right away, and it was really difficult, and I took my lumps. And you have no choice on where you go, so when Pat got drafted, I mean, it's not like he chose the situation. So for me, I think also to be a good teammate, even when it's not necessarily convenient for you, was important to me. And also to help out another young quarterback. I felt like I had been there, so it was easier for me to relate to some of the things that he may be going through. Let's see some YouTube comments. Football team is the best name ever. Even if you are sober, you sound like a drunk when you scream football team. Well, it's better to sound like a drunk than a racist. Don't know where to go with this one. Posted, was there ever any doubt that Alex Smith would win AP Comeback Player of the Year? Well, apparently there's one person that didn't vote for me, so I guess it wasn't that for sure. Yeah, you never totally know, I guess, how people feel that aren't in your circle or around it. So I didn't totally know how people thought of this out there, you know, in the journey and trying to come back. And then there were obviously a few stages of the comeback, from even just making the team and then playing at first, and then obviously to be able to be the starter. You know, obviously a tremendous honor, and you know, anytime in a team sport you get this kind of recognition, it's obviously pretty special, and it says a lot about the people around me, all my teammates, and certainly a lot of the people that helped me off the field as well. Let's see what's on Wikipedia. During a game against the Houston Texans on November 18th, 2018, Smith suffered a spiral and compound fracture to his tibia and fibula in his right leg when he was sacked by Kareem Jackson and J.J. Watt. This is completely factual and awesome reliving it. Thanks a lot, JJ. Everybody says JJ's such a nice guy. The crazy thing about this play is I really felt like it was a pretty innocent play and sack by NFL standards. You know, it was one of those that I felt like I was kind of conceding the sack and just trying to protect the football. And, you know, weirdly enough, getting hit by JJ on the front and Kareem on the side, it just obviously was enough that my leg gave out. I remember a really funny feeling in my leg. It wasn't like I knew it was broken immediately. It went fuzzy. That's what it felt like. And then really it was the visual when I looked down and could see, you know, that my leg obviously wasn't straight anymore, that told me that I'd broken it. Following the initial surgery, Smith developed life-threatening necrotizing fasciitis that resulted in sepsis, which required him to undergo 17 surgeries, including 8 debridements, across 4 hospital stays over a period of 9 months. Say that fast 5 times. Again, all factual. Luckily, I was unconscious for a majority of these surgeries. It was not fun. I was in the hospital for about a month for the initial stay, and then shorter stays thereafter, luckily. Unfortunately, my wife and family probably endured the most of this as I was kind of out of it. I mean, I know this now, but I never would have understood what any of this meant prior to my injury. So for those of you out there, necrotizing fasciitis is commonly known as flesh-eating bacteria. So basically, this bug grew in my leg that was eating and killing the flesh in my leg. And then the doctors with the debridements, that's essentially they're cutting out the infection. So they had to cut out all the tissue, and they kept doing it. They had to go in 8 different times because it kept spreading and spreading. Finally got it under control, which was then, obviously, I was left with what was left in my leg. As a part of his recovery process, he wore an external fixation device for nearly a year. External fixation device is a really nice way of saying they bolted a metal cage to my leg. Because of all the surgeries and the skin grafts and pretty complex limb salvage, you're not allowed to have a cast or any kind of boot to hold my bone in place. So the only other alternative is to bolt a metal halo into my bone. Pretty gnarly looking when you see it on. You can't get pants on, shorts on, underwear on over this thing because it's really big. So basically my wife was nice enough to go get like a few pairs of underwear, shorts, and some pants altered for me where they could zip up or button up on the side so I could just kind of put them on like basketball warm-ups. But that's basically all I wore for those 10 months were some version of those underwear, shorts, or pants. Alex Smith mentored 3 quarterbacks that eventually went to a Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes, Colin Kaepernick, and Nick Foles. I wish I got to play in a Super Bowl. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride, I guess. Again, an honor to somehow people think I deserve any kind of credit with these 3 guys, but again, flattering. You might not believe it, but it's actually me. Are we sure Mahomes becomes who he is as quickly if he doesn't sit? Didn't look nearly as good in preseason or his lone game his rookie year. Has said many times sitting behind Alex Smith led him to better recognizing defensive schemes. There's no one-size-fits-all approach, in my opinion. I still couldn't break him of his ketchup habit, apparently, either. Again, this is really flattering. Maybe if I was a little better at reading the situation, I could have seen that I was going to get traded that year. To even say I have a small sliver of the Chiefs and Pat's trajectory is flattering. Again, the left-handed passes, I wish I'd been the one taking those notes while we were together. Replied, let's check out Reddit. You know what is amazing? The fact that he is taking risks unlike I have seen in San Fran or KC. It's almost as if after the surgery he feels as though there is nothing to lose, and it is wonderful to watch. I could lose my other leg. No kidding. Here it is, the game manager check down thing. I don't know, I'm just playing out there. I'm trying to make the right reads, help our team score. If it calls for throwing it down the field, I try to do that. And when it's about checking it down, I try to do that too. I think from the moment, especially from my first start this last year, all week, it was amazing. I felt like a rookie driving into work every day. I had these like amazing butterflies all week leading up to that game that I never thought would happen. I just kept telling myself that this could be my only start. This could be it. I may never get another one. It was amazing to live like that whole week and play like that just there is no tomorrow. Nothing's guaranteed beyond this. I really wish I could go back to maybe my younger self and instill that. And I think it's something that we can all hopefully live like, and certainly for me, play like, just being in the moment, making the most of it, and not taking anything for granted. Next. In 2007, Smith founded the Alex Smith Foundation and the Alex Smith Guardian Scholars Program, which helps send foster teams to college. This is true. Apparently, we couldn't come up with any better names than just putting Alex Smith on the front of everything. This is still one of my passions, still rolling today, is helping foster kids finish high school and college. I didn't grow up a foster kid. I grew up basically the total opposite. Still have a ton of support to this day from my family. And I could not imagine trying to do that alone. I was just trying to help kids. It really kind of came to my attention in 2007. I was still in my early 20s and meeting some of these kids that, were homeless, trying to finish school completely on their own. And I just remember how daunting that seemed to me at the time and how unfair. Just trying to help kids out who are obviously born into a completely different situation through no fault of their own. You may not believe it, but it's actually me. Alex Smith, the former Chiefs QB Alex Smith, just agreed with me backstage in an interview that Brady is the GOAT. So there you go. Well, Briar, I told you so. It's tough to argue with this one. I mean, he's got more championships than every franchise there is. Can we all agree that it should be two-hand touch rules when it comes to Alex Smith? I'm always so nervous watching him play, can't even imagine how his wife and family feel. I don't disagree with this. If someone could tell Aaron Donald this, that would be awesome. When I got home after the first game that I played in, or I got tackled, my wife and family were celebrating and really made it a big deal for me on kind of the milestone. And they seemed so happy. And then I saw some pictures of their faces during the game as I was getting tackled, and clearly a very different emotion for my wife and kids. Wow, Alex Smith's wife made a replica of the Lombardi Trophy out of his leg brace. They don't make them like that anymore. # Project 11. You're right, Chris. It is a really strong brace. Elizabeth's pretty good too. And I'm not a big memorabilia guy. We don't have anything. There's no den. So this is the only thing from my career that really sits out. Deservedly, it's the coolest present I've ever got. It was something that I wore that, like I said, it was life-changing and a pain to live with for so long. But certainly, I think to flip it and change it into something like that really, I think, is so cool and really signifies the journey. If Alex Smith retires this offseason, Kyle Shanahan needs to make him QB coach. Obviously still loves the game, but wants to move back to the Bay. He got peak Kaepernick ready, Mahomes mentally ready, and now Heineke. Haskins, ? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Man, I I guess I can't be an OC. I got to be a quarterback coach. I am planning on moving back to the Bay eventually, but I don't know. I think my wife would kill me if I decided to coach. She sacrificed enough during my playing career being away. I think if I decided to continue on, even more so as a coach, I don't think that would be good. Laura, in all caps, ask him if he's going or wants to play next year. I think this is about the 60 Minutes. And Mark Workman, her name is Nora. So if you were screaming, she might have heard you if you called her by her real name. I had so much fun playing this last year. I felt like my leg and my body, with the time off and the injury, responded so well. And so for me, I feel like it only fueled the fire for me to kind of continue to see where I can go on this journey back. I still feel like I have more to do and more to gain. So we'll see. Again, I really need to sit down. My wife deserves a lot of input in this, as she's been through even more than me. So here, get into the off season and see where we're at. All right, GQ. Thanks for all the comments. I'm Alex Smith, and I'm signing off the internet.